This conference will now be recorded.
I'm sharing my screen. You should be able to see my screen now. All right. Earlier, when we learned about app service plan, we learned about scaling a bit, right? So scaling is done at app service plan level, but when you are in app service, you also have shortcuts, scale up and scale out. So these two features are related to app service plan, but still you have shortcuts related to that. So we already learned scale up. Scale up is also called as vertical scaling. So when you want to increase, right now we are in free tier. This is not sufficient for us in production scenarios. So we'll have to scale up to one of the pricing tiers available in production. So changing the pricing tiers provide you higher capacities. So that's called as vertical scaling. Now, it's not recommended to always use vertical scaling when you see a lot of load. It's recommended to use scale out. So today we are going to learn about scale out. All right, we'll come back to this. Yeah. So I did something yesterday, so you were seeing that. Otherwise, this is how it looks. I've noticed some bugs, guys. So that's why, though we are in free tier, currently we are in free tier, right? We are not supposed to see this. But it looks like in this page there are bugs. Yeah, now this is good. This is how we should be seeing. Okay. All right. Currently we are in free tier. So auto scale is not available for this resource. Okay. So now in order to achieve auto scale, we need to upgrade. Right. So go to scale up. From free, you should look at some other pricing tier which supports scale out. Okay. So this doesn't provide us scale out, but this does. So when you choose, here you see you can scale, but unfortunately you can scale only manually. Okay, let's do that. Click apply. Yeah, now it will allow us to do scale out. Now you see manual scale is available here. This is a radio button. Just select it. By default, it will be selected. Now you can scale up to only 3 servers. So basic supports only up to 3 servers, and that too manually. Okay. So now instead of 3, I will just make it 2 and click on save. That's it. We are done with load balancing. Did we create load balancer? No. So now what is load balancer? If you ask me what is load balancer, let me quickly show you a diagram. So this is all internet. Now when you have multiple servers, in our case we have 2 servers, right? In larger applications in real time there could be 10 servers, we don't know. So each server will have its own IP address, right? People who are accessing internet, they cannot reach to 2 different machines. It's not possible. So the general architecture says that there will be load balancer inside our environment. So people only access this load balancer. From internet, people access only the load balancer, and this load balancer will decide whether the request should go to server 1 or server 2 internally. This kind of environment is called as server farm. It's a traditional word. It's called a server farm or load balancing environment as well. So this is LB, load balancer. Okay. So we are working with Azure App Service Plan, right? In Azure App Service Plan, we don't have to create this load balancer explicitly. Automatically, Microsoft Azure will take care of that. It would have created that already. Okay. And now, so once this load balancer is there, it will direct the traffic, right? It will direct the traffic to this or this based on the load on the traffic, right? So now I have a question to you guys. So earlier we had only one server. Right now we have two servers. Okay. So tomorrow we might have 10 servers. Now a question to you guys. Do we need to deploy our code to all the servers? Can somebody answer it? No. Yeah, exactly. It's a no in app service plan only. Okay. So we are working with app service plan. But if you are working with virtual machines, which is infrastructure as service, and there in infrastructure as service, you want to create similar load balancing environment, 2 or 3 or 4 or 10. In IaaS virtual machines, it's our responsibility to deploy to each and every virtual machine separately. That's required in virtual machines. And there also you need to create load balancer explicitly on your own. But in PaaS, it's very powerful because Microsoft Azure will take care of this load balancing, and we don't have to deploy code in each and every individual instance. It's not required because whether you have one server or shared server or 10 servers, our code will not be sitting inside any server. Our code will be having a separate storage, is accessible to all the servers. So our code will be sitting here. The code that developers develop and we deploy DevOps engineer deploy, right? It will be in a separate storage, which will be mounted on every server automatically. Okay, that's the power of PaaS. All right. Okay, so now our server is running in, our application is running in two machines. So if I access our application, load balancer will decide whether it is going to server 1 or server 2 automatically. Okay, so basic allows us only to manual scaling. Now, is there any problem with this approach, guys? Definitely traffic will be separated and performance will increase because of that. So for user it is good, but for us, for business, do you see any problem here? Anybody? Yes, definitely there will be a problem because cost. Now I made two servers, that means we are paying twice. Whether these two servers are effectively used or not, but still we are charged. So it doesn't make sense to have 2 or 3 or 4 instances during non-business hours. For example, we are working for an East US customer. Definitely in the US night times, there definitely traffic will be low than usual business hours, right? So it doesn't make sense to have two during non-business hours. So non-business hours, you should decrease it to 1. So every day you cannot do it manually, right? That's where auto scaling comes into picture. Unfortunately, in basic pricing tier, auto scaling is not possible. Auto scaling is possible only in standard or above. Okay, so I have pulled it back to 1. And let's go back to scale up. There are go back to scale up. I went to scale up now. Right now B1 is the pricing tier. So let's go to production and choose S1. S1 is selected, click apply. So standard and premium both supports auto scaling. So now go back to scale out again. This option is visible now. Earlier, when we were in basic, this option was not visible. Okay. So right now we are in standard. We can go up to 10 servers. You see, earlier it was only showing 3, but now in standard it's showing 10. So I don't want to manually do this. I want to automatically do that. So instead of choosing this slider, we need to select this. Okay, we'll come back to this. We need to discuss some points related to this. Once we discuss those points, we'll come back and implement this functionality. Okay. All right. So manual scale is done. We have seen this auto scaling, right? So now what is profile or condition? Auto scale conditions. The previous name was auto scale profile. Now they have renamed it the profile to conditions. Okay. So what is this condition? So there are 3 types of conditions available. The first one is fixed date profile, recurring profile, and default one. So fixed date means from so and so, from a date range basically. During this date, we want some condition. During these days, we want some condition. And default, we have some conditions. So basically, different businesses need different scaling. Some business get lot of orders only during weekends. Some business gets lot of orders only during specific dates, right? So Valentine's Day, a lot of people will order flowers, gifts. So if a customer is doing those kind of business, then they expect a lot of traffic on February 14th, right? And then movie tickets, they will get a lot of orders only during weekends. E-commerce, they usually get a lot of traffic during business hours almost every day, right? And sometimes during Christmas, New Year, a lot of traffic will be there for some kind of business, right? That's a range of dates. So depending on the situation, you can do scalings in using different conditions or profiles. Okay, by default you will have one default profile. It's up to you whether you want to create fixed date profile or recurring profile along with this. But any point of time, only one profile will be evaluated. Okay, so each profile or each condition is nothing but a set of rules. Now what are those rules? You have 2 types of rules: scale out rule and scale in rule. Scale out means increasing the number of servers, scale in means decreasing the number of servers, right? So here you have 2 examples. One example is for scale out. There is a rule: scale out by 1. Scale out means increase the number of servers by 1 when the average CPU is greater than 80. So right now we have only 1 server. If there is lot of load on the server, how do you know that there is lot of load? By looking at the consumption, right? By looking at CPU consumption, memory consumption, and there are few more such metrics. So if the average CPU percentage is greater than 80 or 70 or 60, whatever it is, depending on your requirement, what you can do is increase the number of servers by 1 or 2. It's up to us. That's called a scale out rule. Okay, and what you can also do is, if this average is greater than 70% or 80% continuously for 5 minutes, then only you would like to add new server. Sometimes there could be traffic, there could be percentage 80% or 70% only for a few seconds. You don't need to worry those scenarios, right? Only if the traffic is more for 5 minutes continuously or 10 minutes continuously, then only you want to add one more server, right? These are all the best practices that you should follow to minimize the cost. and automatically it will keep on increasing the servers, and after some time definitely the traffic will decrease. So we also have to create, you also need to create scaling rules, but only change is here less than and threshold value. This is called as threshold value. Even this is also called as threshold value. So when you want to configure auto scaling, you have to create both scale out rule and scaling rule. It's recommended. Scaling rule creation is not mandatory, but it's recommended, obviously, right? Otherwise, if you don't create scaling rules, the servers will be still up and running even though there is no traffic. So it's our responsibility to increase or decrease. Okay. All right, let's do this. And you also have this option. How many minimum servers, how many maximum, and how many default. That's also can be configured. For example, right now in standard, the maximum number of servers is 10. So if you are using 10 servers for the entire day, for that day you are paying 10x money. But your customer might say, hey, no, we don't have that budget. Today we are definitely getting traffic. Even though there is too much traffic, some people might try to hack our website. They will simulate some load. So I don't want to pay for that unnecessary thing. Even if there is genuine traffic, I don't want to pay 10x money. So let's restrict it to only 5 servers. That would be a client requirement. So what we can do is here you can set minimum maximum up to 5. Default you can start with 2. When there is no traffic, come back to 1. All that is possible. Okay, so let's do that. And did I miss anything? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, here you see this is the default profile. Scale out, that means increase the number of servers when the average CPU percentage is greater than 70. Okay, how many servers should we increase? Only by 1. Only 1 servers at a point of time. You can also make it 2. It's up to us. But when should we decrease? When average CPU percentage is less than 40. Decrease by 1. Slowly decrease 1, 1, 1 until you reach 3. That's the configuration that we have set here. Go up to 10. Default is also 3. So that's what this condition says. This is the default one. Okay. So let's do that. So I already did this. So it was automatically showing it. So if you don't have this, what you can do is click on add role. Okay. Which will take you to the same place. So current resource, we would like to check always average. It's recommended to do average all the time, but it's up to us. You can say minimum, maximum, some blah blah blah. But always people do average. So average CPU percentage on app service plan. So other metrics are also possible. CPU, memory percentage, data in, data out, disk queue length, blah blah blah. There are many requests, many different metrics, but is not used commonly. But CPU and memory are the most common ones. So right now we are doing with CPU percentage. Guys, I'm sorry, 1 second. Venkeshwarlu, you're not responding, right? Sorry, guys. Yeah. So CPU percentage is the one that I have selected. Now it also gives us what was the CPU percentage in the last few hours. So before this session, yesterday, I ran some load testing on this. So that's why it is showing us data. So which is good. So far last 24 hours, right? It was the average CPU percentage is 1.67%. So it is giving us some insights about the historical data for a day or two. Okay, so now what we need to do is, if our CPU percentage is greater than 70 or 80, whatever it is, in real time it makes sense to put 70 or 80. But now I am going to create or simulate load on our application. Okay, and our application is very simple, right? It doesn't have any complex functionality, so it's very tough to generate 100% or 80% load. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting it as 40%. If the CPU percentage is greater than 40% continuously for 5 minutes, then only take this action. What action it should take? Increase the count by 1. And what is the cooldown time? So let's say on this minute, during this minute, there is an increase in number of servers. So when should it take the next action? It should wait for 5 minutes. That's what cooldown time means. That's it. So specify the metric, specify whether you want average. Yeah, that's the most common one. Average CPU percentage is greater than 40 continuously for 5 minutes, then increase the server by 1. This is scale out rule. Now the same way, if CPU percentage is less than 30, same thing, average CPU percentage, but here the only difference is less than operator. 30%, then decrease it by 1. Exactly same thing. Okay, minimum 1, maximum 3 or 4. Because our customer says, I am not going to pay beyond 4. I don't have that budget. That's it. We're done. Now based on traffic, automatically the servers will increase. Now you see there is only one server. I will also show you one more place where you can see the number of servers. Overview blade, and there is only one server. Now let's simulate some traffic. So Azure helps us in simulating a traffic with the help of a service called load testing service. It's a brand new service. It's still in preview. So let me run. I already configured load testing using a concept called JMeter. So let me quickly show you that. Don't worry guys, it's not a responsibility of DevOps engineers to develop JMeter things. It will be done by testers, but it's our responsibility to run them. So it will run for, I think, 10 minutes. I ran a couple of tests yesterday, but let's see the workflow. First, as soon as you create a request, it will accept it. And internally, Azure will create some infrastructure. Azure will create VMs internally, separate VMs, not our webs, not the ones that we already have. We'll create a separate VMs for this load testing. I already provided the required JMeter scripts. Okay, and it will start running those JMeter scripts from those virtual machines. It will create users as well, virtual users. Earlier it was 49 virtual users. It ran for 10 minutes approximately. Okay. See, now it is second step, provisioning. It's provisioning the infrastructure. Once the infrastructure is provisioned, we'll start executing our test cases. The load testing, load test cases. So while this is happening, very soon it will start executing, right? While this is happening, what I also want is, I want to get alerts. Okay, so that is also possible. In the configure section, we have configured the rules, but I want to get notified. So I can set emails. I want to receive notifications to this. What notification you want to receive? Whenever a server is increased, or decreased. That means for all scale out operations and scale in operations, I would like to receive emails. And there could be many emails, right? Every day there could be a lot of emails. So it is good to receive alerts, but at the same time, we will not see any insights about that data, right? So what is also possible is you can see the history. Last 7 days, how did it went? How did it go? Last 1 hour was just one server. Last 12 hours, yeah, it was just one server. But last 1 day, yeah, there was an increase. See, first it was just one, it went to two, and then it went to three, and it came down to two, and it came back to one. And if you scroll down, you will see the audit as well. What all operations were taken in the last whatever time it is, right? Audit is also shown here. So history of the scale out operations and scale in operations is shown in run history section. So I made a change to my email address, so obviously I should save it. Okay, so now I want to see whether we are getting load or not, right? First, let's see. It still says provisioning. Let's refresh this page. So now that's fine. We'll leave it here. Now let's go back. Now I would like to see the CPU percentage, right? Our rules are based on CPU percentage only, right? So now tell me guys, where can I see CPU percentage? Is it at app service level or app service plan level? Where should we see the CPU percentage? Or memory plan. Very good. App service plan, right? So I would like to open that in a new tab. Right click, open. So now we are navigating to app service plan and we will see CPU percentage. I'll show you where to see that. It's very simple. In the overview blade itself, it will show us charts.
Praveen, the CPU is associated with app service, right? I'm just
No, CPU is always server, right? Server means here an app service plan. So you see CPU percentage here. So it was 12. This shows a last, I think, a few hours or 1 hour, just 1 hour. But when you click on this, it will take you to metrics section. We can also navigate to metrics section by directly clicking on metrics somewhere here. Yeah, CPU percentage is a default one. It is showing. Click on this. Yeah, you see, it went up to 60%, and then like that. So these are all different data that you can view when you want to troubleshoot further. Okay, then let's go back and see whether it is showing us it started or not. Okay, so right now there is no way whether it started or not. Only sometimes, even if it is started, if it is executing, but still it might show us provisioning. So we don't know about that. So I think we'll have to wait. So once it starts executing, right, then it will create a lot of load on our app service plan. It makes request to our app service, and then it will provide us results. It will provide how many requests it was able to make, how many errors were there. All that information JMeter scripts will provide. Those JMeter will capture. The JMeter results will be captured by load testing service, and that load testing service will give us a dashboard kind of thing. We can download that from here. So I can download extra days files by clicking on this button. I don't want to do that now. I want this to get completed, and then we will see that. All right. So once that is done, we will do a few more things. So let's go back to our scale out page. So right now we are here. So I would like to explain more. We just did default setting, right? There are a few more things that we can do. Let's go back to PowerPoint. So we discussed about default profile. So there are a few more things. So there is multiple rules. Now, if you observe here, there are two scale out rules and two scale in rules. Okay. So for CPU, for compute intensive websites, you can only have CPU percentage, but some applications might be memory intensive. Some applications might be both. So if you think that either CPU or memory goes beyond 70, then you should automatically add one, right? In that case, you should add more scale out rules like this. So this OR is automatically added. We don't need to do anything additional. Okay, all we need is click on this rule, add rule, and choose memory percentage instead of CPU percentage in the metrics dropdown. So automatically it will add OR. That means when there are two scale out rules, only one should meet the requirement. Then automatically a server will be added. But when you have more scale in rules, you see this and both of them should evaluate to true. Then only it will decrease the server. Otherwise, it won't decrease the servers. Okay, so the takeaway from this slide is it is possible to add multiple scale out rules and multiple scale in rules. Absolutely, it's possible. Okay, now we are good with this, right? So you guys had a discussion with your team and you arrived at some rules and you created all this. Okay, now let's say this is all good. Every day there might be load or no, we don't know. So whenever there is load and if the CPU percentage is beyond 70, automatically new servers will be added. But here we are saying it's 70%. When the average CPU percentage is 69%, there will still be one server. So when the CPU percentage is 69, probably users might face some performance issues. Right? They will see some slowness. User is facing performance issues, obviously they will not purchase, they will go away. If Amazon is slow, then obviously I will go to Flipkart. If Flipkart is slow, I will go to some other website because everybody is giving us facility to online to order online, right? So regular days it is fine, but what about special days? We cannot lose business, right? If one customer is going away, that's fine. We cannot expect everybody to go away because of our performance issues, right? So I want these rules to be executed, the default condition to be there for regular days. But for special days during Christmas, New Year, I don't want this. This is bad. What I want is instead of 70, I want this to be 50 only, both places. And this must be instead of 40, it should be 30 or 20. So I want to be ready with a lot of servers so that customers experience is seamless. They should not face any performance issues. That's a requirement. Okay. So we should not come here and make changes every time, right? So what we can do is instead of changing the default rule, we can add new rules. There will be a button at the bottom. This screen is not showing that. So add more condition, add new condition button will be there, which will let us add more. Okay, you see this, if you read this, CPU percentage is greater than 75 from January 1st to January 31st. So in the bottom, you see this particular section will be added automatically. So click on this. You want here specific dates from January 1st to January 31st. We want these conditions to be used. You can make it to 50 and this can be 30. It's up to us. Okay, so date specific things can also be configured. And then if your business, if you forget about Christmas and all, but regular days, I mean usual months, you also see a lot of traffic, lot of orders during weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So you want a special rule only for weekends. Then you should select repeat specific dates in the schedule field. When you click on this, it will show us days. So where you select only weekends and from 6 to morning 6 to evening 6. So only during weekends, these profiles, these rules will be applied. So all this is possible. Okay. So now let's go and see whether it is running or not. So go back here. Still says provisioning. Yesterday it was not. It was very quick yesterday. I don't know why it is taking so much of time. Click this. So depending on the load on Azure also, this particular thing will vary. Okay. So let's not worry about this. Move forward. Did not take so much time. Anyways, I think we will review this. I didn't want to show this, but I will show this. So let me download this result file. So yesterday I ran it for 10 minutes with approximately 50 virtual users. So it provides us artifacts. You can see HTML clean charts. So this is all output from JMeter. Dashboard charts, blah, blah. Okay. So nothing was failed, 100% it was succeeded. And only home page was there. If there were more pages, it would have shown the list of more pages. So the response time is number of executions and then response time. So minimum is 2 milliseconds and it went up to 6 seconds as well. 6401 means 6 seconds. So some pages did not respond properly. Some requests were not responded properly because during that it was a peak time. So there were no errors. If there were errors, it would have shown us errors. So now usually testing team will run these test cases and it will share with the development teams so that they can fix the problems. So running these test cases will show us all the slow running pages as well. So that way developers can look into those slow running pages and they can optimize it. So now I was talking about testing team and development team. So what is the role of DevOps engineer CL? That might be a question to you guys, right? So right now we are doing this load testing only to explain, only to learn about how scaling works. I wanted to show you some features. It will send emails whenever there is an increase, and whenever there is a decrease in servers, it will send emails. So today's exercise is only about how scaling works. That's what I wanted to show you. But a DevOps engineer should implement this as part of the pipeline. So whenever there is a new release happening, so DevOps engineers should incorporate these load testing scripts into CI/CD pipelines. That's very important for DevOps engineers. That's the only thing DevOps engineers should be doing with respect to load testing. So today I ran this load testing manually. But later, as a DevOps engineer, we will automatically run this JMeter scripts. Okay, so, but not now. Later, we will automate all this part. I wanted to show you emails, but unfortunately, it is not running. It is not running yet. It is still provisioning. Probably there are many customers who are accessing this. Probably that might be the reason why it is taking a lot of time. Or it might have got stuck. That's also possible. So what we can also do is we can run one more time and see our luck. Sometimes because this service is still in preview, there might be bugs. Okay, so how did I create this? Let me quickly show you. Yeah, search for Azure load testing. This is in preview. Right, so just create. It's very simple. Just provide a name, resource group, that's it. And click on create. It's as simple as it is. Creation is very simple. And once it is created, we need to create tests. Or you can click on this button. It's up to us. So create test. And then you need to provide all this, a name and description. Test plan, this is important. Here you need to upload the JMeter script. So usually testing team will develop these JMeter scripts. If you want to run it from Azure, you need to come here and select the file and click on upload. It will show us here. And then here you need to specify how much load you want, how many instances, all that you should configure. These are the important things. And if there are any special metrics, then you should choose here. And if you have any parameters that is accepted by JMeter scripts, you should pass them here. The environment variables, secrets, all that. Some websites will have login password, right? So in that case, secrets and any other value can be configured here. That's it. Once you configure this, then you will start seeing it here. And you can click on this and you can start running it. It's that simple. Okay. All right. We will do the same thing automatically as well later in the pipelines. This is a very brand new, very recently, I think not even 1 month. It's been hardly 1 month. This service got released. It's a very new service. That's why it is still in preview. Okay. All right.
So Praveen, instances, right? So how many instances we check in that app service plans? Those are we have to give in that instances,
It's
or it would
maximum
be
in
any.
standard.
Okay.
So in standard it is 10. In premium it goes up to 30.
Okay. So any number it would be we can give, right?
Within that limit, yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. All right. So let me show you. This is the default one, right? So how do we add more? So scroll down. You will see this button here. I did not capture this in the PowerPoint. So click on this. You see schedule. If you want date wise, then you should select this start date and end days. If you want days, then you can click on this and you can choose whatever days you want. Start time, end, and you can add rules automatically. Only during these days, those rules will take precedence. Okay. I think that's it on this scaling, guys. Unfortunately, I could not show you emails, but let me quickly stop my screen share and I will show you yesterday's emails. So sorry for that. I just stopped my screen share because I need to switch to different accounts. I'm sharing it back. Now you can see the emails. So first I received this email. It says from 1 to 2 it is increasing. Auto scale action started on so and so app sales plan. First 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3. Okay. Then after some time, I mean the test case ran only for 10 minutes. That's the setting that I was using. Okay. So after 10 minutes, the traffic got diminished and you see 3 to 2, it started decreasing. And 2 to 1.
What happened if there is an attack?
And you can see the difference 826, 820. So there is a gap of 5 minutes because cooldown time was 5 minutes. We'll wait for 5 minutes and then it will start increasing or decreasing.
Private.
Okay. Yeah.
Private, what
Any
happened if there is?
questions? Any questions?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
During the
Hello?
cooldown
Yeah.
time, it will be increasing the capacity, right?
Both.
Increasing or
Time
decreasing?
is for, yeah, both. It's for both. Yeah, Phil, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah. What happened? For instance, there is an attack. Okay. Somebody's attacking your system, and then you schedule your stuff, your scaling to be, let me say, weekends, and there's an attack in between. What happened? How do you resolve that kind of issue? Because you
Right.
scheduled it. So if you schedule it, that means you're not going to auto scale.
No, even in schedule also we will auto scale. Based on schedule, we will auto scale. So your question is on,
Yeah, but if there's an attack you don't know when the attack is going to happen. So how will you use auto scaling to resolve your issue with security?
right? Got it. So attack is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we don't know whether the request is genuine or
Yeah.
not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, we should avoid that problem. We should protect our applications, right? So right now our application is not protected from those DDoS attacks. So basically for this, there's a concept called DDoS attacks. I'm sure everybody knows attacks, right?
Yes.
So people try to hijack or people try to do some hacking and corrupt something, right? But there are special types of attacks called DOS or DDoS.
Yes.
These are very simple. So
Yeah.
now many people do this because competitors, to avoid the competency, right? So they create these DDoS attacks. That means it will simulate traffic. So DDoS attacks are meant for simulating automated traffic on our websites. Slowly they try to simulate as if it is from a human, and
Yes.
that attack will pull our servers down, right?
Yes.
That's what DDoS attacks is all meant for.
Yes.
Now, how do we mitigate this problem? There is a separate service called application gateway. Okay, so
yeah, sometimes you use auto scaling because your system is supposed to be continually scaled so that you will not bring the system down. So that is one of the reasons why you have auto scaling, because when they are attacking you, your system will continue to scale. But if you program your system to just only scale during the weekend, you're going to run into issue if something happens during the week, because you'll not be able to auto scale.
yeah, so that we cannot avoid with scaling by default. So scaling will work when your load scaling work only based on CPU percentage or memory percentage, right? When the attack is happening, so this particular settings will not know whether it is attack or genuine. So it will automatically scale, increase the servers, and it will do its job. But as an admin or as an engineer, right? So we are responsible for creating a secured infrastructure. So what we need to do is, on top of this, we also need to use another service called application gateway. So we should wrap our app service inside application gateway. That way, application gateway will take care of mitigating those attacks.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to.
For different problems, we
Mhm.
introduce different solutions. So Azure has a separate service for each of these.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that was a good question. But yeah, scaling will not avoid those kind of things automatically. They will not even detect whether it is a genuine one or simulated one, but they'll just increase or decrease the number of servers based on these rules.
It just keep going. It just keep giving you more server because the traffic is becoming more and more. So in a way, we are helping the organization not to be offline. So because the more they bring the traffic, the more you scale. So that is one of the benefits of auto scaling.
Right. Correct.
All right. Thanks.
Praveen,
Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, just one basic question. Please explain. For instance, the instance here means that we are increasing the number of web apps in a single web server.
Number of servers, not web apps.
Okay, the number of servers here.
Yeah. So instance is nothing but a VM.
Okay.
So the reason why we don't refer VM is people will get confused between these virtual machines, right? So in PaaS world, we don't refer to the word called server, just refer it as instance, PaaS
Okay.
instance or app service plan instance.
Okay. But
But internally there are
on the background, please correct me that app service plan it resembles a web server, and app service resembles a web app.
correct.
And by instances we mean replicating this particular particular environment over 10 times for the basic or standard pricing.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
okay, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Basic supports only up to 3, standard supports up to 10,
10, yeah.
premium supports up to 30.
Okay.
All right.
Hi,
Yeah,
Praveen, Kiran here.
yeah, please go
So,
ahead.
yeah, where can we see these charges and all actually? So, on day-to-day
Charges.
basis, we will be able to.
Yeah. So first thing is, first time when you are creating Azure resources, you want to do some calculations, right? Your customer might say, hey, I want to budget, I want to plan for our budget. So can you please share us the forecasting for the next 6 months or 1 year? That's a common requirement. Everybody would ask you forecasting, right? In that case, there is something called as Azure pricing calculator.
Yeah, I got this from previous session. I'm talking about once these instances are created for load balancing and all.
I'm coming to that, right? So
Okay.
before the services are created, this is the one that you should use. Even after creating also, you can use this. This will give you fixed price about your services. So once, I mean, if you want to see historical data, how much did we use for the last 1 month or whatever it is, right? There's something called as cost management and billing. So here you can see subscriptions. I have many subscriptions. So right now, this is the one which is active, and I can configure cost analysis reports. So for me, how much I am charged, right? So you can see accumulated cost. This is the view, and here it loads up the dates. So far, I think I have consumed every 13th is my billing date, 13th or 14th. The last 2 days or 3 days. This is the price based on service name. There is one report based on location, based on resource name, blah blah blah. So for this virtual machine, I have spent 100 rupees in the last 2 or 3 days. For our app service, sorry, for a virtual machine, 7 rupees, blah, blah. So here you can create charts. In every cost analysis, you can create forecast. It says in the next 28 days or 1 month, 7,000 is the forecast. I've created budgets. I will receive budget. I will receive alerts because of this. So all that can be done in cost analysis. Okay.
Yeah,
You can pin these reports to dashboard as well. So I have already done that. So I can see current billing. Yeah, I think I will need some, but yeah, I can see all that. Cost analysis is the place where you can see all that. Yeah. Any other questions, guys, before we do our quiz? I'm sharing our
hello,
quiz. Yeah, please go ahead.
sir. Can you show me how to delete the card as my free trial is expired?
Sorry, which one?
Card delete, sir. I added my card as my free trial is expired.
Okay. Yeah, we will do it. Once you are done with quiz, yeah, let's do that together.
I want to delete my card, sir, which is added for my account.
Okay, you want to delete.
I have.
Yeah, I think don't leave this session. Once everybody leaves, right, we can do it together. Okay. All right. So let me share you the quiz. I'm sharing that in the chat window. Everyone. Yep, you have it. Please let me know if it is asking for any login. You should not ask for any login, but let me know if it is. Good. One person got 9. Good. True responses 6. I think there is a problem with one of my questions, guys. Let me fix it. I'm sorry, there is a mistake in one of my questions, guys. I'm fixing it right away. There are multiple rules for scaling. Then the scaling gets triggered only when all. Yeah, only when all rules. Okay, I think it is correct. Yeah, it's all correct. Some of you did not write it properly.
Which question? Which
No,
question
I
is
think
it?
it is correct. No, Vijay, I think it is correct. It's 12th one. I thought, yeah, it is correct. It is correct. So one person got 10 out of
Praveen,
11, I
question
guess.
number 10.
Question number 10. Okay, one second. Question number 10. Question number 10. Okay.
Scale out, it will have only or condition, right?
Okay. Yeah, it's a text change.
Praveen, for the
Yeah, we can do scale out based on CPU and RAM. So don't compare this and with that R. This and that are different. It's just English. We can scale out based on CPU and RAM is the question. 10th question.
Praveen,
Yeah, please go.
for the 11th one, uh, this question says that scale out gets triggered when at least one of the rules are met. It's not
Correct.
always, right?
No, see, scale out and scaling, right? I have shown you this. Let me show it again. Simple. It's you already seen that.
But we can have and or anywhere else, right? In scale out or scaling as well.
No. Scale out will be or. Scaling it will be and.
It's always like this.
Correct. Let's
Okay.
say you want and for scale out as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then within one condition, it's not possible. We'll have to create one more condition.
Okay. You mean to say within one.
See, it doesn't make sense, right? Okay. See, let's forget about whether it is possible to set and condition for scale out. So now let's say our goal is always okay. Our goal is always to help end users to see better performance in our website. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So now your requirement is this: CPU greater than 70. Obviously, this is load, right? If percentage is greater than 70, then that means load. And CPU percentage, sorry, if memory percentage is greater than 70, then also that means it is load. In any one of these cases,
Mm-hmm.
if this is true or this is true, then obviously we need to add one server, right? That's why by default they will give us OR.
Okay. So we cannot change here and in this particular rule.
Correct, yeah. Because we are not defining those, right? We're not defining those ORs ands. It automatically taking it. For
Okay.
example,
Mm-hmm.
so when I add one more rule for memory, all I'm doing here is instead of CPU percent, I will choose memory.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And whatever percentage greater than 60, 40, 30, whatever it is, and I will choose only those specific numbers. Threshold values is what I'm changing. That's it. Nowhere we are choosing
Okay.
or
Okay.
it's automatically adding.
Yeah. Okay. Got
So
it.
that's why we cannot choose. But
Yeah.
definitely the question number 10 is, can we have two rules? That's the question. The answer is yes. Okay.
So, Praveen, I have one question regarding this question number 9. A touch scale rule can be applied to vertical scaling. Normally, vertical scaling is like increasing the hard disk or the RAM, right?
Yep.
So,
So
the
scale
rules
up.
are,
Yeah, these auto scale rules. Auto scaling is possible only at scale out level. Auto scale
okay.
rules are not possible at vertical scale.
So once you give the fix, it has to be continued, and you have to go. If
Exactly.
you have to increase, you just have to go manual and modify it.
That's it.
Right?
Of course, automation can be done. PowerShell, using PowerShell, all that. Automation is possible, but auto scale rules are not allowed in scale up or vertical scale.
Okay. Thank you.
I have one question. This kind of auto scaling functionality is available in IaaS, like virtual machine.
Yes, auto scaling is available in virtual machines as well. So there is a concept called virtual machine scale set. If you use virtual machine scale set, then auto scale rules are available there. But if you create normal virtual machines, it's not there. You have to create the number of VMs upfront. Okay.
Means we need to enable it to support scaling, auto scaling while creating.
No. For example, initially Microsoft had only virtual machines. Okay. So you can start with one virtual machine, but as the traffic is growing, you need to manually create multiple virtual machines and attach load balancer to that. That was the first solution that Microsoft guys have released in IaaS world. Okay. And PaaS world, this was there initial days itself. But now many customers like this. So they wanted similar auto scale in VMs as well. So what Microsoft did is, instead of changing that feature or instead of adding that feature to VMs directly, what they did is they have come up with a new service completely. That new service name is Virtual Machine Scale Set. Okay, so in Virtual Machine Scale Set, auto scale rules are very similar to this. All right. Yeah, I think let me review. So far 22 responses. I can see 23 so far. And I can see at least 2 people got 100%. Very good. And 2 people got 10. And I can see many 9s and 8s and only 3 correct questions by couple of one person. And I think you should try to change it. Yeah, I think that's it for today, guys, unless you have any other questions.
Thank you.
Do not have a question. Yeah, please go ahead. No questions? All right. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow we'll start with another new service. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Yeah, Timaradi, please wait. I think everybody can leave. Timaradi, please wait. I think we will figure it out.
Yes.
You are there, Timaradi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Timaradi, want to share your screen? I'll make you presenter.
I want to share my screen, sir.
Yeah.
Can I do it on my phone side?
Yeah, you can share. Let me stop recording now.